Hello, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. It's me, Michael O'Keefe, aka the Movie Mystic, the host of Mystic and Severe on CKCUFM, as well as this YouTube channel that you're checking out, Mystic and Severe Radio, where it's no longer Mystic and Severe CKCUFM. It's just I'm the whole radio station. I'm the jam, and I just wanted to talk to you tonight about the upcoming broadcast, which I hope goes live. I say that tepidly. I just got an email from someone on the staff. I hope everything's good on their end. But you can most certainly listen to this broadcast. Don't worry about it. You can listen to it right now as a podcast. I'm not sure. I'm like 90% sure you'll be able to listen to it on Ottawa FM at midnight on April 29th. But if not, you can go in the description link. I link you with the podcast, which is called South by Southwest Goes to Hell. 4 interviews with a horror bent. And yeah, it's a fun broadcast. It's really good. If I do say so myself. And I hope you check it out either live on ckcofm.com or 93.1 on the radio dial or later on. So, okay. Perfect. So I just received an email that this show will be going live on CKCOFM. So that's exciting. It's literally just happened within 5 minutes. I was a little worried. But, okay, so thumbs up. Everything that I just said, retracted. It's going down. So I would love for you also to follow me on the socials. So I'm movie_mystic on Twitter. You can join the Facebook group Mystic and Severe on CKCOFM. And then, of course, on Instagram, I'm Movie Mystic 2021. And, oh my god, I just remembered, I gotta put the reviews up on Letterboxd. So, this happens periodically when I'm plugging the socials on the pre-show. The pre-show? I remember I gotta post the reviews on Letterboxd. So, but I'm Movie Mystic on Letterboxd, just uppercase, no underscore. So there you go. And I got, how many reviews? I think 7. Yeah. It's like, or 8. It's 8. I review a movie called Off Season, which is played in the South by Southwest Midnighters category, as well as, this is really like the Midnighters broadcast. I got Woodlands Dark and Days Bewitched, which is like my favorite film of the festival. I'm going to talk about that in a second. So I got that. I got The Feast, a movie shot in Wales in the Welsh language, a horror movie. And then there's a Midnighter's short called Reclaw. Yeah. And then there's Bloodthirsty as well, a Canadian horror movie, which is, I believe, out on VOD right now. And then also I've got 3 Wu-Tang Collection reviews. The Wu-Tang Collection's a really cool YouTube channel, which if you're a fan of Kung Fu movies or want to, dip your toes into it, they have great stuff. So I have 3 of their movies. Fistful of Talons, 8 Strikes of the Wildcat, and Return of the Kung Fu Dragon. And that's my final batch of Wu-Tang Collection reviews for, the foreseeable future. I won't have any in May. And so this is the 3rd and final broadcast of April. It happens a couple times, I think twice a year, where there's 3 broadcasts in a month. Every other month is 2. But yeah, so there will be a total of 9 Wu-Tang Collection reviews this month, and that's awesome. It's great. Part of the inspiration for that was, I want to review older movies and get the letterbox, the reviews, not all at the top at 2020, 2021, 2019. Come on, let's get it throughout the years. 60s, 70s, 80s, even a little 50s, 40s, whatever. And yeah, so this broadcast, of course, the title, South by Southwest Goes to Hell, is pretty obvious. It's a reference to Jason Goes to Hell, a Friday the 13th movie. And you can see in the broadcast, there's a fun picture I have from that movie. It's a little creepy and fun and spooky and stupid. It's cute. So, yeah, so 3 of them are in the Midnighters category, or 2 are in the Midnighters category. One is the Midnighters short, and then I have a Canadian horror director, because we gotta have some CanCon, man. So I'm gonna read the description and then I'm gonna blast off. I'm gonna say peace. So more South by Southwest. Okay. Final batch of Wu-Tang Collection reviews. Ooh, a Canadian horror director. Wow. This is what you get in the broadcast, which is broadly horror oriented. Starting with Kayla Janess chatting about her award-winning South by Southwest documentary Woodlands Darker Days Bewitched. So that documentary rocks, man. It really slams. It's really long and it's really comprehensive and it's really entertaining. How it goes seamlessly from one image to one point really blew my mind in like a way that I don't know. I felt like it was just really skillfully yet intuitively done, and like I believe it is just like so much more than just an info dump of like a list of movies to watch. I think it like really cohesively comes together and is very. You feel it like it feels cinematic. It feels funky. I dig it. And this is the second time I talked to Kayla. The first time we were talking about her documentary Tales of the Uncanny, which she directed and David Gregory and the people at Severin Films produced. And of course, this documentary will be available on Blu-ray through Severin Films, but I imagine sometime in like the spring of next year, because it's doing the festival circuit right now. I could be wrong though. So it did fit South by Southwest. Next up is Rotterdam in the Netherlands, and then I bet I could bet money this is gonna play Fantasia, man. There's no way I think this is gonna get passed up by Fantasia. Heck no. Oh no, heck no. So yeah, that movie it's basically about full course about like sort of divisions between rural people and city slicks and old values, new values, uh, seen characterized through horror movies. So think Midsummer recently, and then The Wicker Man with Christopher Lee. As like The Wicker Man's like the best one. Come on. Blood on Saint. They say there's like the unholy trilogy from England. It's Witchfinder General, Blood on Satan's Claw, and The Wicker Man. And those movies all slam in their own way, but The Wicker Man's the best. Come on, you can't don't front, okay? And then so we start off with Kayla, and we go into our review Off Season, which is a South by Southwest Midnight movie that I thought kind of sucked. And then we're going to hear from director Lee Jones and writer Roger Williams. And they talk about their movie, The Feast, which is notably spoken in Welsh. So yeah, I kind of talk a lot about how I think Welsh is spooky in the movie. The language, that is. And the movie itself is pretty good. And then we hear Amelia Moses chat about the latest Canadian horror flick, Bloodthirsty. So yeah, what's funny is I've seen another movie. It's called Bleed With Me, and it played at Fantasia last year. And I got the screener for that, but I didn't get to talk to Amelia. But now, good things come to those who wait and who are patient. So I talked to her, and what was it, last week? Yeah, Friday. Last Friday. Yep. The other two, that was like weeks back. That was sometime in March, right? So, but Amelia was recent. And then we talked, and yeah, so Bleed With Me is cool, this movie's cool. And this, again, like with the Kung Fu reviews, this is a good introduction to the contemporary Canadian horror scene, like the top tier. There's, some stuff that's kind of trashy, but this is like the top tier Canadian horror stuff. And she really is a good ambassador for that, which I like. And in fact, not only do I like, I'm becoming like more receptive to in as time goes on. I don't know if it just grew on me or if I'm more forgiving, but it has. Or maybe a bit of both, actually. Both those things. Like a sort of a fondness, sort of a weak spot for it. And also, I think I suffer the same trait that most Canadians have about Canadian cinema, which is they're a little too hard on it. A little too hard on it. And while it's funny, like, we could watch like a British movie or a Kung Fu or a monster movie from Japan, and no, it's not as good as a Hollywood movie, but like, oh, well, maybe an exotic factor makes it acceptable, but, yeah. I think having seen like the top tier cinema of Canada of late, there's good stuff that I think about. So yeah, I like Canadian cinema more than I used to. And then finally we hear director Polaris Banks on his short Recklaw. So yeah, one more South by Southwest interview after that in the second hour to sort of end the show. And or not quite end the show, but that's the last interview. And he's cool. He's a young man, and he was able to get Lance Henriksen. That's the name of the actor. And it's short. And if you don't know who that is, that's totally cool. But he acted alongside Viggo Mortensen in Viggo's directorial debut, Falling. And that was really interesting when I was watching this short. First, I thought it was very funny. I like the sense of humor and timing and wit, all that stuff. A sense of absurdity. And then I'm watching it and I'm like, God damn, that's the guy. That's Viggo's boy, or he plays Viggo's father actually in the movie, Falling. But seeing him, it was like, wow, God damn, that's crazy. How did you get him in a short film? And Polaris talks about that. Talks about getting a good casting director. So that's really interesting. How you could still be with limited resources, but if you have a good script and you can get it to a casting director, that can make a big difference. So yeah, he's got a cool story, and I enjoyed Recklaw a lot. And yeah, and then there's a review of South by Southwest movie off season. Yep, and I enjoy music from horror franchise staples in between everything else. So I want to talk about that now. So the tracks I play are the Halloween theme by John Carpenter. This is a classic. It's so good. I played it on the show before. Have I played it twice before? I think I've just played it one time before. But I'm a big fan of that song, that theme. It's really obvious. But I actually went for this broadcast because this is like the horror staple broadcast. I go for the horror franchise. I go for Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, Jason Goes to Hell, and then Hellraiser Bloodline. It's kind of jokes. That's kind of jokes. But the first hour is like very like traditional Halloween, right? The Halloween theme is like very well known amongst horror fans. And then Nightmare on Elm Street by Charles Bernstein is a very classy soundtrack, and it's great. Like the first Nightmare on Elm Street is awesome. Come on, don't front. It doesn't have to be Dream Warriors for you to like it. But then it gets kind of weird. I do the Jason Goes to Hell theme, which makes sense, even though it's not like the first of the franchise. I didn't go for the first Friday the 13th theme. It makes sense because this is the South by Southwest Goes to Hell broadcast. And then I went for Hellraiser Bloodline, just because I played the first movie. I don't think I played Hellbound. That might have made more sense, but I've done the first movie. I like Christopher Young. He's my pal. Happy birthday, Christopher Young. He just turned, I don't know how old, it doesn't matter. But it was his birthday recently, so happy birthday, Christopher Young. And so Hellraiser Bloodline, before the Recklaw interview, and then I said that Polaris Banks doesn't quite finish the broadcast, because that's true. I have this like mini Hellraiser 4 Bloodline mega mix. So, and it's not the best music, but it's a funny way to end the show. So the tracks are The Virtual Box Opens, Back to the Past / Present Tense, Solar Alignment, Dreams of Angelique, and A New Box of Gold. So yeah, this broadcast is a lot of fun, especially if you like horror movies. And if not, I mean, hey, you get some funky conversations and some still good tunes. So the Wu-Tang Collections come up first. It's like the first bit. I introduce the show. Well, obviously it's like the theme song. I introduce the show, and then you get the reviews. So it's kind of funny. For the first April broadcast, the Wu-Tang Collection reviews were like at the end of the broadcast, and then the last broadcast it was at the end of the first hour, and now it's the first thing. It keeps moving closer and closer until it was just begun, man. So let's talk about the main broadcast. First main broadcast, very quickly. So that broadcast is going to be titled, nobody's heard this before, South by Southwest Meets Hot Docs. I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you guys enjoyed the show tonight. It will be going live. And you can listen to it right now. The description is the link is in the description box. I want to say goodnight. Just make this a quick, terse, in and out video. I don't know more to say. I think like Kayla Janess had the best projects in South by Southwest this year. Woodlands Dark and Days We Wish. Not that I saw everything. I did not. Not even close. But it was the best thing I saw. out of like a dozen or so, a dozen plus movies. It was the best, and there were good things for sure. But that was congratulations, Kayla. I think you're one of the greatest documentary filmmakers because of this project, and I'm not just saying that. So I will get those reviews on Letterboxd very soon. The other directors are really cool. The music's slamming. Kung Fu reviews. This is great. South by Southwest goes to hell. I'm so glad it's done. So have a great day, guys.